Good evening, everybody, and welcome here to the Sports Talk Network channel. And here tonight for the Monday Night RAW review that just ended here for July 30th, the last Raw of July, year 2018. Monday Night RAW there in Miami, Florida, home of The Rock and other people, of course. But only The Rock, I know I was seeing rumors and hearing things of The Rock being there in the show, and or at least backstage, and will he be part of WrestleMania and all the other stuff. But he wasn't on the show tonight, and the show tonight was all right. I like the start of the show with in memoriam to Nikolai Volkov and Brian Christopher. No, Nikolai Volkov, known as Nikolai, and Brian Christopher, known as Grandmaster Sexay from Too Cool back in the Attitude Era. Definitely remember that. Definitely was an awesome guy there. But just at least doing that was good. Even with the circumstances of Mr. Christopher's passing in his own right. Maybe a video package might not have been necessary. Nikolai, maybe. But at least they did that. They acknowledged it. Not trying to hide away from it, sort of thing, because you can't really hide away from something like that. And not just because of the era we live in with social media, but because of people pass away. You should at least respect them enough to have a in memoriam, in the memory of, And if it's a big enough star, they'll dedicate the whole show to them. I'm sure when Austin, The Rock, Undertaker, Triple H, it's going to be a long time, but still, when they pass away, shows are going to be done later on Raws and SmackDowns. When Vince McMahon passes away in the next 30 years, I would say, if I had to guess, Vince McMahon will pass away 34 years from today. Maybe not in the day, but you know what I mean, 34 years. Whatever. But when they do, when those superstars and owner of the company, different here with Volkov and Christopher. But either way, I like the nice, nod they did. They had the in memoriam. At least they did something to acknowledge it and bring it up. So I'm appreciative of that as a WWE fan. Individually, I don't know about all you guys. Let me know in the comment section below otherwise. So let your voice be heard. And the start of the actual show being Roman Reigns calling out Brock Lesnar. And like I do in these Raw reviews, I go pretty quick, fast, hot and heavy in a hurry. And then I break it down a little bit more, hopefully with team members, on Thursday. Kyron says he already has a rant ready to go for not this Thursday, but for the review in 3 weeks. Because I guess it's 3 weeks away from the pay-per-view of WWE SummerSlam, the WrestleMania of summer here in August. And he already has a rant ready to go about things. I'm sure he has a couple rants to go because he's passionate and he cares. I'm ready for it. Hopefully the viewing audience is. Heck, all people on his own channel go over to Kyron Chase, ready for rants on that channel. And they're not just rants because he wants to rant. He generally sped up with things. And I respect that. I might not agree with him on some things, like the Carmella Asuka argument we keep having, but I definitely respect him. He's my bro. Anyways, like I said, at the start of the show, Roman Reigns calling out Brock Lesnar. Paul Heyman comes out and announces Roman will lose once again to Brock at SummerSlam and says Brock will come out to that ring when he feels like it. And then they show Brock Lesnar backstage, chilling in his locker room, reading. While Heyman wants Brock to watch what Roman Reigns said about him, and Brock responds by breaking Paul Heyman's phone. In the first match of the show, Baron Corbin defeating Finn Balor 1-on-1. After the match, Corbin keeps attacking Finn, and it looks like that's set up for SummerSlam. Finn Balor versus Constable Baron Corbin. Okay. Kurt Angle backstage then tells Paul Heyman if Brock Lesnar does not show up to the ring tonight, Paul's contract with WWE will be terminated. He's not joking around. Shit's getting real, as they say. Alicia Fox is on the show, and Alicia Fox beating Natty in one-on-one contest. Ronda Rousey in Natty's corner, of course, and Alexa Bliss, the Raw Women's Champion. Sexy Little Miss Bliss. Blisstastic being there. And Alicia Fox celebrating, actually getting a win on the show, not just totally jobbing. And then Kurt Angle announces that next week Alicia Fox and Ronda Rousey will be happening. Ronda Rousey's first Raw match, or I think true Raw match, in WWE. And think about that. Alicia Fox being the one to face Ronda Rousey in her first Raw match. Remember, the reason that Alicia Fox has been gone from WWE for a while is because of that. An altercation with Rousey and Rousey's husband, back around WrestleMania time. Now, I thought she might have been fired for it because, hey, that's Ronda Rousey. That's one of their pride and joys in the women's division. Going to be a champion in the future for SummerSlam or in the future. And you have Alicia Fox, who's barely on the show, who's probably going to become women's champion anytime soon, but is a veteran in the locker room. And you have her chirping at Ronda Rousey and her husband. They're impressed on the road to WrestleMania. Like, where does that add up to make sense? Where does that add up to Alicia Fox? That's best for business? I don't know, you guys and gals that are watching here, whether you're watching live or archive, let me know in the comment section below what you think, because I think it's pretty foolish for Alicia Fox to do that and think that A, she's going to get away with it, and B, there isn't even a slight chance, let alone any chance, that she'll get fired for doing that dumb stuff. I'm kind of happy she didn't get fired, but she has to know not to mess, as they say, don't bite the hand that feeds you, sort of thing. Ronda Rousey's kind of feeding her. Ronda Rousey being a big star coming in, elevating the women's division even more so, money for WWE, which helps put money in the company's pocket, which will let them put some of that, small amount or whatever, in Alicia Fox's car, as she is still employed by WWE. Whether she's barely on the show, whether she's dropping out, whatever, as long as she's still employed, she's still getting paid. That's how that works. If you still are employed by a company, no matter how many hours you get, it's employed and you still get some money. That's the point of things. So Alicia Fox doing what she did at that time. And now, so many months later, her return back finally on the Raw brand. And next week she gets to face Ronda Rousey. I find it very ironic. Then again, that's just me. That's just one WWE fan's opinion. Again, you guys, gals, others, let me know in the comment section below what you think of everything here in regards to Ronda Rousey and Alicia Fox and that whole situation. So it might not be too much of a situation now, but it certainly was during WrestleMania week. That's the whole reason Alicia Fox hasn't been on television for so long. And now they're making a storyline with it, kind of. They're kind of making a storyline with it without bringing it up, sort of thing. Like WWE's having them face each other, one off, and not even obviously a few, because Rousey's facing Alexa Bliss at SummerSlam for the Raw Women's Championship. But just even simply having this match, fans of Rousey's, fans of Bliss, or Alicia Fox will probably bring it up. And WWE can just let social media bring it up. They don't need to bring it up. This is the era we live in. Whether it's millennials or others of this generation that are so into with social media, and I'm one too, so I might be of a different generation, being a 90s kid. I myself now, with my brand and my podcast and other things I'm trying to grow, I use social media all the time. Now I'm using Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. I'm doing more Facebook Lives, Instagram Lives, as I call them, to try to build that brand and talk about other things and interact with people. That's why I want to get into broadcasting. I'm passionate about it. I love the business. I really hope to get into it because I like interacting with people about topics, whether it's about my local sports teams, the Bucks, Brewers, Badgers, and Packers, or about WWE and storylines and superstars and backstage BS. Sometimes that happens in there. Because WWE is a company, dude. It's like any other company. Now, I know pro wrestling gets a bad rap by others. I know in my past I've gotten that as a WWE fan from family and friends, but it still is a company. And it still has its behind-the-scenes situations and issues that need to be addressed. And in regards here with Ronda Rousey and Alicia Fox, and in regards to social media and generational thinking, whether it's my generation as a 90s kid or the millennials or the kids that are growing up today and the kids of the future, how they're going to think, how they're going to use social media, what's even going to be out there for social media for kids of the future. Kids that have just been born or kids that are, let's just say, 6 to 10 years old now. Right? What's their future, at least in the social media aspect. Now, I know I'm kind of sidetracking to talk about Monday Night Raw, but I just wanted to bring that up since it was on my mind. It's going to be very interesting to see how that all plays out. And how that relates back to WWE is of fans now, fans from the past, and fans of the future, and how they all interact with each other and with WWE superstars on social media may be very different. Because remember, in my generation, there was no Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, none of that stuff existed. And in some ways, I kind of miss that. Kind of. Then again, I do say I am on my phone a lot. But back in the day, if you wanted to try to reach a WWE superstar like a Stone Cold or The Rock or Undertaker or whoever, you had to literally in a magazine find where they, P.O. box or whatever address that you send fan mail to them. I think they still somewhat exist. You can still send mail, that way, regular mail, or is it now called snail mail? But with you having a social media, with Twitter, interacting with WWE superstars, interacting with celebrities is so much easier. And that's, again, good thing, bad thing. Give and take in that situation. I already did a video earlier. I think it was just a couple months ago about Twitter and interacting with celebrities and the do's and don'ts that I believe everybody should follow in interacting with celebrities of any kind, whether sports, entertainment, or otherwise. Because there is protocol. There are some jabronis out there that don't adhere to any of those. They, let's just say, something have interesting interactions. But anyway, let's get back to Monday Night Raw. I know I was ranting about other things, but it just made me think of that. I mean, I have a nephew that's going to be 1 year old in his future. I'm not saying he's going to be a WWE fan, but his future overall and the advent of how social media will affect that future as he grows up. It's like with any child. Then again, hey, I care. I always care. I care about things too much sometimes, but that's me. That's how Steve rolls. Anyways, let's move on back to Monday Night Raw, talking about WWE. Moving right along here. In the show, Elias, in Elias' segment, trying to sing a song for the Miami crowd, as that's what his gimmick is, but Bobby Lashley interrupts. Elias offers Bobby to sing along with him, but it ends up with Bobby taking out Elias. And it looks like, again, another setup for SummerSlam. We're getting weeks and weeks away, 3 weeks to the pay-per-view event. So, setting up these feuds, if they didn't do it last week, makes sense to do it now. I'm always wondering, you're heading to these big pay-per-view events, SummerSlam, WrestleMania, have that blueprint ready of what you want for your card. Because again, this is scripted television nonetheless, right? When I was younger, I believed it was real, isn't that? I was scared of the Undertaker and Kane characters. But now, I'm a 30-year-old man, I'm grown, and I understand that, it's, the underlying of its storyline, business, this and that. But there still has to be that level of believability to even the smarks out there that are wrestling fans, right? We know what's scripted television, we know what storyline, we know this and that, we know what the angle is for each segment, each match, each feud. But to keep us interested and to keep us glued to that television set to watch Monday Night Raw every week, because that's 3 hours of your life every Monday. Every Monday from 7 p.m. to 10 Central Time for me, WWE Raw. To keep me interested and keep me motivated and caring about any of the feuds that are shown in the show, believability in each of the storylines. And from what I've seen from most of them, I do believe in their animosity and why they're even feuding at all. It's not just WWE just throwing these two superstars together because what the heck? That's what the live shows are for. The live shows for the live crowd. Just throwing matches together and stick to the wall and see what works. That's fine. But on television shows, on Raw and SmackDown, that stuff better be planned and it better be going somewhere. At least to me. Again, it's just my opinion personally. Let me know in the comment section below if you think differently. So in regards to Elias and Bobby Lashley, are they really going to sit and build this whole feud up because Bobby Lashley was the last one to interrupt Elias last week when he was trying to promote his debut album, which I guess did better than, well, I forget how many bands and stuff they touted out tonight that it did better than. I don't know if that's actually real or just a bunch of corporate BS, but I don't know. I'd have to check the top 100 charts if Elias's single or album is above some of the artists that they did bring up, like Panic at the Disco, or they even brought up some of the ones, forgot who. But anyway, point is, whatever that to be, that's this whole separate thing. We're talking about the storylines. in regard to WWE storylines, Elias and Bobby Lashley, you're going to try to tell me that that's going to be the reason and motivation to the feud of what happened last week. You're kind of reaching, but I'll go along with it. Why? Because I'm a big fan of Elias and do see big things for him. But we'll see how that goes moving forward, obviously. And as I move forward, just one note for tomorrow. Tomorrow, SmackDown Live, 7 to 9 p.m. And always, I will be here 9 p.m. Central, shortly after the show ends, to do the SmackDown Live review, as I do each and every week here on this channel. I might have to be a little bit more quiet now with situations going around here, but I will still be here each and every week. Same color, same place, same time, same channel, YouTube here, youtube.com/user/clean08. Welcome to follow me on Twitter at WB_podcast or personal Twitter handle at army_strong_06. Moving around here from Monday Night Raw, Jinder Mahal, Monday Maharaja, defeating Braun Strowman by count after Kevin Owens interfered and tried to steal his money in the bank briefcase, which is his own little funny side thing, because at SummerSlam we'll have Kevin Owens versus Braun Strowman, the briefcase being on the line. And I'll talk about when we get to the main event segment of why it may have been and made more sense, again, storyline-wise, in kayfabe terms, or even in the WWE Universe terms, so same point. Braun Strowman to cash in, then Brock was there. You actually got, I'll talk about that later. But right here in this segment, at this time of Raw, with Jinder Mahal beating Braun Strowman and everything like that, actually was pretty ingenious for two reasons. One, for Jinder Mahal, former WWE champion, one that shocked the world when he won the championship last year at WWE Backlash, defeating Randy Orton. And I said at that time that made sense to give him the title. And he had a pretty good run. I enjoyed his reign. I know Karen didn't. I know others didn't. But I personally, my opinion, Jinder Mahal was a pretty good WWE champion. Now, of course, he's no longer WWE champion, but still staying in the main event scene as he should. Because you never know, he may be a future Universal champion. But for right now, just having the storyline with the Money in the Bank briefcase holder Braun Strowman, beneficial to him. And then two, why this is fine, is because for Braun Strowman to take the L, take the loss now, when you guys cash in, whether it's at SummerSlam in 3 weeks, 3 weeks from yesterday, at SummerSlam, 3 weeks from yesterday, then it's going to make it even more impactful when he cashes that son of a gun in, whether it's successful or unsuccessful. I don't give a crap either way what it is. But I think he needs to cash in then, because why? At least again for me, would WWE have Braun Strowman hold on to that briefcase past SummerSlam? I don't think it's beneficial for WWE or for Braun Strowman. Again, I'll let my teammates give their thoughts on Thursday night and on the prediction show 3 weeks from now. Karen Chase, Mark Ramble, Raunchy Mikey, my boys, my bros, have my team and wrestling family here on the podcast this Thursday, if not for the SummerSlam prediction show in 3 weeks, and give their thoughts. But for me, Braun Strowman better and should cash in SummerSlam. But we'll see. Right? We'll always just see. I'm moving right along here. Mojo Rawley calling out the whole Brian Hansen talent, and Bobby Roode steps up and they ball a little bit. Bobby Roode here. Probably this might be a pre-show match at SummerSlam. Either way, it be what it be. And unfortunately, if I can speak. How far is it wrong? That's part of this whole Ron Hansen talent talk as a backstage thing. Bobby Lashley, or Bobby Roode, should be above that. Should be going for mid-card titles. But this is just the place they have him for now. Doesn't mean it can't happen in the future, because the machine of WWE is always going. It's the machine of any big corporate company, Disney, ESPN, others. It's always keep going, and even with John Cena, The Rock, like when The Rock left, and he went to Hollywood, and one of the biggest, highest paid actors now, there in Hollywood, Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Doesn't mean WWE stopped. Doesn't mean WWE, ended and was gone. It's still here today, obviously. But I'm not sure that. But anyways, yeah, let's move on down. Paul Cruz beats Occam Razor. They're 1.5 of 18. Sorry, I was just reading something else. The Rollins beat Drew McIntyre by DQ after Dawson interfered. Baron Corbin had Roman Reigns escorted out of the building by security, but he punches Corbin on his way out. It's pretty cool. I think, like I said, next week, Rousey versus Fox. Alicia Fox. Revival defeat Bray Wyatt, welcome Matt Hardy. Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre attack Seth Rollins. And Ziggler there looking like trying to look like a young Chris Jericho. That shirt and hair style. Bayley and Sasha Banks defeat the Riot Squad. I still don't know if this is going to go into like a lesbian storyline, but we'll see with Sasha Banks and Bayley. I don't know if we see them kids, we'll certainly see. And in the main event, Kurt Angle demands Brock Lesnar to come out. Brock finally does, and takes out Kurt Angle with an F5 and makes an example of Paul Heyman. Excuse me, to end the show. So, I don't know. I think the show was okay. But yeah, I don't know. Sorry, I was just thinking of reading some friend of mine on me on Instagram. Excuse me, but anyways, hope you all had all enjoyed Monday Night Raw. I think it was alright. If I did great, I'd probably be great. On my Twitter handle at the Beyond Show Podcast, I have my Insta poll up there. Do you think it was great, good, okay, or terrible? Again, I thought it was fine, okay, I guess. But either way, hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you all enjoy the rest of your evening. I'll see you tomorrow night for the SmackDown live review after the show. So you guys take care. Enjoy the love in your area and above all else, as always, take care.